Hey, Fanny Charles here out of Long Island, New York. And this video 5 is on the book review of The Art of Nonconformity, Set Your Own Rules, Live the Life You Want, and Change the World by Chris Gilbo. You can get this book at Amazon.com. I'm going to go over a few key points out of Chapter 5 that I believe you will get value out of. The title of Chapter 5 is Competence is Your Security. Take your life in your own hands, and what happens? A terrible thing. You have no one to blame. And this is by Jong. Basically, this chapter is about using competence as your security instead of a job as your security. I'm not mean a job working for someone else, because if you're working for someone else and you don't have different pipelines of money coming in, different streams of income from different sources, you are at mercy to your single source of income. And besides that, since you're at mercy to that single source of income, you're dependent on that person or that organization. And basically the point in Chapter 5 is to move in the direction of self-employment. No, everyone does not have or should be an entrepreneur, but if you're looking to cut the dependency cord, self-employment is the key. Self-employment is the key. So he goes on to list characteristics of good and bad businesses. Okay, so this is a good business. Now, mind you, this is a good business for your ideal world and to create your dreams or, your goals or your visions in life. Okay, good. Create assets that sell on their own. Bad. Trades time for money. If you have assets that sell on their own, you don't need to be present. It's a system that's working. It sells on its own. It's like, for instance, like this book. I purchased this book. He wrote the book once, and he's going to get paid over and over and over again for the knowledge that he is sharing. Whereas when you trade time for money, you go in, you plug in the hours, then you make the money. Then you have to go back and plug in more hours in order to make more money. And if you want to make more money, you have to go back in and plug in more hours. He wrote the book once, and it's selling over and over and over and over again. He's not writing the book each time a book is sold. All right, good characteristic is independent of the economic climate. Bad is dependent on the economic climate. Good is location independent, can be operated from anywhere. Can be operated from anywhere, like a laptop, using online. All you have to do is have access to the internet. So you can be location independent. A fixed location, you get up every day and you clock into the same building every day. That's the bad. So it's a fixed location. You don't have the freedom to move about. If you don't show up to this location, oh well, you just don't get paid. Flexible hours, so the owner can decide when to put in the time. Bad. Fixed hours, like a shop or service where customers drop in. Those hours are set. You already know that if you have a regular brick and mortar business, you have to have set hours for people to come and visit, period. When you have flexible hours, like if you're working or doing something via the internet, it really doesn't matter. It's 24 hours. Good. High profit margins and regular cash flow. Bad. Low profit margins and irregular cash flow. Good. The business founder owns the intellectual property. This is intellectual property. He owns it. Bad. Someone else, a franchise, usually owns the intellectual property. Note that a business doesn't necessarily need to have every good characteristic and no bad characteristic. The point is just that the more your project falls on the good side, the easier it will be to become successful and sustainable. He mentioned some other options too. Option 3, such as redefine your place of employment by hiring a boss. Number 2, I kind of read this backwards, become a rock star and redefine the terms of your job. And, that's basically it for Chapter 5. But number 1 on the list is self-employment. To recap Chapter 5, he says, no one else will be responsible for you or care about your well-being as much as you. You create your own security in a regular job or by working for yourself. I think working for yourself is easier, but it's not the only way. Like Alan Bacon's life experiments, slow and steady change can produce big improvements when done consistently over time. Some people think self-employment is risky, but the real risk lies in deriving your security from an external source. Last, don't just escape from something, escape to something. A lot of times we're escaping from something and we're always focusing on that. Oh, I gotta get away from this situation. I gotta get away from this situation. I really don't care where I land. I just gotta get away from this situation. So the focus is on getting away from this situation that you don't like, the current situation. And then you end up in the same situation again. It just has a different packaging. The goal is to escape from the current situation that you have, but to also focus on where you are going. That's it for Chapter 5, The Art of Nonconformity. Set Your Own Rules, Live the Life You Want, and Change the World by Chris Gilbo. It is an excellent book. Pick it up. It is food for thought. Fanny Charles out of Long Island, New York. Talk to you later. Bye.